Let's talk about XRP. Because for this particular crypto, October isn't just another month on the calendar, it's a battleground. We've got a decade of really bad history on one side, clashing with a tidal wave of new money on the other. So the big question is, which one is going to win? You see, for years now, there's been this pattern that has absolutely haunted XRP traders. People call it the October curse, a weirdly consistent trend where the price just tanks. But this year feels different. The whole game has changed, there are brand new players at the table, and honestly, the stage is set for a massive break from that tradition. So what exactly is this curse? What is XRP really up against here? Well, let's dive into the history, because you just can't argue with the numbers. For the last 10 years, October has been a notoriously rough month for this token. Yeah, that one number right there tells a pretty powerful story. On average, XRP has lost 4.5% of its value every single October for the past decade. That actually makes it the second worst performing month of the entire year. And that kind of consistent pattern, well, it becomes a real psychological barrier for investors. I mean, think about it, right? If something has failed 9 times out of 10, are you really going to bet big on it the 11th time? This historical data has made a lot of traders super cautious. It almost becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy where everyone expects it to be weak, so they start selling, and boom, that causes the very weakness they were afraid of. But what if the game itself has changed? So, while history was putting everyday traders on the defensive, some of the biggest players in the world of finance, they were quietly making some very different moves. These are the game changers. Get this. In September alone, while the market was dipping and a lot of retail investors were getting nervous, a staggering $210 million of institutional money flowed into XRP. This wasn't panic selling at all. This was a calculated move by the big fish to buy up as much as they could. And it didn't stop there. On top of all that cash, over 439 million XRP tokens were pulled completely off of exchanges and moved into cold storage wallets. Now, you just don't do that if you're planning to sell anytime soon. That is a massive signal that you're in it to hold for the long term. Ricardo Santos, who's the CTO of Mansa, he explained this whole dynamic perfectly. He basically said the September sell-off was panicked retail traders getting wiped out, while the big institutions saw it as a fire sale. They just used that dip to gobble up XRP on the cheap, which totally explains why so much of it disappeared into those cold wallets. So you have to ask, why are these institutions so bullish all of a sudden? Well, it's because this isn't the same old XRP from previous Octobers. We're seeing several powerful catalysts lining up right now that simply didn't exist before. I mean, for the first time ever, the fundamentals are seriously stacked in its favor. That crippling legal fight with the SEC, mostly in the rearview mirror. The network itself is buzzing with real activity, real volume. And on top of all of that, you've got multiple ETF applications waiting in the wings and a classic bullish chart pattern forming. None of this was in play in years past. So what would a breakout even look like? Well, analysts have a pretty clear path in mind. Step 1. Break that key resistance level at $3.02. Step 2, use that momentum to rally toward the all-time high, which is around $3.61. And the final boss? If some positive ETF news drops, we could see a serious push into that $5 to $10 range. But of course, a bull run is never, ever guaranteed. We have to look at the other side of the coin. What happens if this breakout fizzles out and that old October curse proves it's just too strong to break? It all comes down to one really important number, $2.75. For the whole bullish case to stay alive, the price has to hold above this critical support level. If it breaks below that line, well, that's when the bearish scenario comes right into play, with a potential slide down to $2.64. A drop like that would pretty much invalidate the entire bullish argument, at least for the time being. It would mean that despite all this new money and all these positive fundamentals, the October curse was just too much to overcome. So this brings us to the ultimate moment of truth. On one side, we've got a decade of historical weakness, and on the other, we have this powerful new wave of institutional cash and a ton of fundamental reasons to be optimistic. And that is the central question, isn't it? We are literally about to find out if all that smart money that bought the dip back in September was right, or if history is just doomed to repeat itself one more time. This October, for XRP, is the real showdown.